Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tilly and today I'm going to be filming my December book haul. I've split this video into three categories: books I've bought myself, books I've received in book subscription boxes, and books I've been very kindly gifted by friends and family. So I'm going to start with books I've bought myself, starting with A Light in the Flame, which is the second book in the Flesh and Fire series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I did actually read this book this month, so I'll be telling you my thoughts in my December wrap up. I can't tell you too much about this book because it is the second in a series, however I did read it this month, so it will be included in my December wrap up video. Then during the Black Friday sale, I treated myself to Heartstopper Volume 3 and Heartstopper Volume 4, as I read the first two books fairly recently and really enjoyed them. If you don't know what Heartstopper is, it follows Nick and Charlie, two boys, and their journey into falling in love. Again, as these are third and fourth books in a series, I can't tell you what they're specifically about. Then we have Five Survive, the new release by Holly Jackson, who is the author of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I've not read that yet, but I've heard really good things, and when I read the synopsis of this, I really wanted to give it a go as well. So the synopsis of this one says, Red Kenny is on a road trip for spring break with 5 friends. Red's best friend, her older brother, his perfect girlfriend, a secret crush, and a classmate. When their RV breaks down in the middle of nowhere, they soon realise that this is no accident. They've been trapped by someone out there in the dark, someone who clearly wants one of them dead. With 8 hours until dawn, the 6 friends must escape, or work out which one of them is the target. Buried secrets will be forced to light, and tensions inside the RV will reach deadly levels. Not all of them will survive the night. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I know people have been challenging themselves as to whether they can read it within 8 hours. I might do the same when I read this one. I was umming and ahhing about picking up this edition of Lady Midnight, but I kept telling myself I didn't need any more Cassandra Clare books. However, I'm pretty sure there was a Black Friday deal on, so I couldn't help myself, so I bought Lady Midnight and also the matching edition of Lord of Shadows. This one does have a little bit of damage to the dust jacket, which I'm not too happy about, but these two are in the Dark Artifices series by Cassandra Clare, which follows on from the events of the Mortal Instruments, and is probably the series that is the furthest along in regards to the timeline of events, other than the series that follows Magnus and Alec. Lady Midnight is the first in the series, and it follows a girl called Emma and her parabatai Julian. Falling in love with your parabatai is strictly forbidden, so you can kind of guess what happens within this one. And then you might remember from my last book haul me saying that I almost picked up the Waterstones edition of The Starless Sea when I was in foils, but because it was the Waterstones edition, I wanted to get it from Waterstones. Well, I have now picked that up alongside the matching edition of The Night Circus as well. I actually haven't read either of these books, and I'm very intrigued to find out what they're about. So The Starless Sea says, when Zachary Rawlins stumbles across a mysterious book containing details from his own life among its pages, it leads him on a quest unlike any other. Following the clues inside, he is guided to a masquerade ball, a dangerous secret club, and finally to an ancient subterranean library. What Zachary finds in this curious place is more than just a buried home for books and their guardians. It is a place of lost cities and seas, lovers who pass notes across time, and of stories whispered by the dead. But when the library is threatened, Zachary must race through its twisting tunnels and sweetly soaked shores, searching for the end of his story. That sounds fantastic, and I can't wait to give this a read. I know this is a much loved series, so I'm a little bit daunted to give it a go, but also very excited. And then The Night Circus, full of breathtaking amazements and open only at night. I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation of this one as always. Le Cercle des Rêves seems to cast a spell over all who wander its circular path, but behind the glittering acrobats, fortune tellers and contortionists, a fierce competition is underway. Celia and Marco are two young magicians who have been trained since childhood for a deadly duel. With the lives of everyone at the Circus of Dreams at stake, they must test the very limits of the imagination and of their love. I'd say out of the two of them, I'm more excited about The Starless Sea, but this still does sound really good. And then just lastly, on the books that I bought myself, I've mentioned in a few videos that I'm participating in the Schwab Along. I've read A Darker Shade of Magic, but I've not read the rest of the series, and so I own A Darker Shade of Magic and I didn't own the others. Because I loved the first Darker Shade of Magic, I really wanted to get my hands on the collector's editions, but I didn't know whether to buy matching paperbacks of the rest of the series or to just bite the bullet and get the collector's editions of those as well. They did have money off, so I did end up treating myself to the collector's editions. So I got A Darker Shade of Magic, A Gathering of Shadows, and A Conjuring of Light. I also justify these by telling myself that Luna, my cat, got them for me for Christmas. Does anyone else do this? A book I forgot to mention is actually the one I'm currently reading, which is Stay Another Day by Juno Dawson. This is a festive read with a bit of a difference that I saw when I was watching Book Nest's vlogs. The McAllister house on Arbourton Road has seen 120 Christmases since its completion. This year, Fern is bringing her gorgeous boyfriend home and she wants everything to be perfect. But her twin brother Rowan would rather go on the pool than pull crackers with the family, and their younger sister Willow is terrified of Christmas Day. With only 4 sleeps till Christmas, 3 secretive siblings, 2 hot house guests, and 1 juicy secret. This Christmas there will be some big surprises under the tree. I've not got too far into this one, but I'm excited to see what secrets are in store. And then in terms of subscription box books, the only one I've not unboxed for you guys is the December Fairyloot adult book, and that was Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. I'm completely obsessed with this edition. I'm going to put the original edition on screen now so you can see the difference, but I much prefer the colourings of the Fairyloot edition. We've got some really cool sprayed edges. The end pages are also beautiful. These are the back end pages, but it's the naked hardback that I'm just obsessed with. How cool does that look? And then that moves me on to books that I was very kindly given as gifts. So I was going through a bit of a rubbish time, and my friend Ian, the lovely human that he is, surprised me with a book off my wish list, and that was The Unlikely Escape of Uriah Heep by H.G. Parry. I've heard so many amazing things about this, and Ian actually said that this was his favourite book of 2022, so I'm really excited to give this a read. I'm not actually too sure about what this is about, other than it's a book about books. For his entire life, Charlie Sutherland has concealed an unusual ability he can't quite control. He can bring characters from books into the real world. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. But when literary characters start causing trouble throughout the city and threatening to destroy the world, he learns he's not the only one with his ability. Now it's up to Charlie and his reluctant older brother Rob to stop them, hopefully before they reach the end. That actually sounds fantastic, and I really cannot wait to give that one a go. Ian very also kindly got me a Christmas present, and he got me A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I have a feeling he saw my Instagram post where I talked about 5 Survive and the fact that I hadn't read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I really can't wait to give this one a go. Again, I don't really know too much about this one other than it's massively hyped. The case is closed. 5 years ago, schoolgirl Andy Bell was murdered by Sal Singh. The police know he did it, everyone in town knows he did it. But having grown up in the same small town that was consumed by the murder, Pippa Fitz-Amobi isn't so sure. When she chooses the case as the topic for her final year project, she starts to uncover secrets that someone in town desperately wants to stay hidden. And if the real killer is still out there, how far will they go to keep Pip from the truth? Again, I'm so excited to give this one a read. This year I also participated in Rose Patreon Secret Santa, which I really enjoyed being a part of. I kind of wish I'd been involved in more Secret Santas, but I did try and limit myself. Ellie from Rose Patreon got me Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston, which has been on my TBR for a long time. So in terms of this one, Amari Peters knows 3 things. Her brother Quentin has gone missing. No one will talk about it. His mysterious job holds a clue. So when she's invited for a trial at the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs, Amari is certain this is her chance to save him. But first she has to get her head around the new world of the Bureau, where mermaids, aliens and magicians are real, and her roommate is a were-dragon. Amari must compete for a spot against kids who've known this world their whole life, and with an evil magician threatening the whole supernatural world, Amari has never felt more alone. But if she doesn't pass the 3 tryouts, she may never find out what happened to Quentin. To save her brother, Amari is going to have to fight harder for this than she ever has before. Again, I know I keep saying it, but I'm really excited about this one. This is also a really pretty edition. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got really cool sprayed edges as well. And then just lastly, I did get some books as presents from my family. So I picked up Foul Lady Fortune when I was out shopping with my mum. This is the Waterstones edition, so it's got a really cool exclusive cover. I didn't realise this book is in the same universe as These Violent Delights, and I haven't actually read that series yet, so I might have to read that before reading this one. I was going to say that I don't think the synopsis has any spoilers, but I gave it a quick read and it might possibly, so hopefully I haven't spoilt myself for These Violent Delights. My aunt also very kindly got me a couple of books off my wish list, starting with Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. So this is Leigh Bardugo's adult series, and the new book is out quite shortly, so I did really want to give this one a read. So this one follows Galaxy Alex Stern, who is the most unlikely member of Yale's freshman class. A dropout and the sole survivor of a horrific unsolved crime, Alex was hoping for a fresh start, but her free ride comes with a catch. She has been tasked with monitoring Yale's secret societies, notorious haunts of the rich and powerful. Now there's a dead girl on campus, and Alex is the only person willing to look deeper, because the societies are far more sinister and extraordinary than anyone ever imagined. They tamper with forbidden magic, they raise the dead, and sometimes they prey on the living. So yeah, I'm really intrigued about this one. I have heard mixed thoughts on Ninth House, but I'm excited to give it a read and see what I think. My family also got me The Beast, that is Fairy Tale by Stephen King. This is the latest book by Stephen King, and I think it follows more of a fantasy route rather than horror. So the blurb says, legendary storyteller Stephen King goes into the deepest well of his imagination in this spellbinding novel about a 17-year-old boy who inherits the keys to a parallel world where good and evil are at war and the stakes could not be higher for their world or ours. Charlie Reed looks like a regular high school kid, great at baseball and football, a decent student, but he carries a heavy load. His mum was killed in a hit-and-run accident when he was 7, and grief drove his dad to drink. Charlie learned how to take care of himself and his dad. When Charlie is 17, he meets a dog named Radar and her aging master Howard Bowditch, a recluse in a big house at the top of a big hill, with a locked shed in the backyard. Sometimes strange sounds emerge from it. Charlie starts doing jobs for Mr. Bowditch and loses his heart to Radar. Then, when Bowditch dies, he leaves Charlie a cassette tape telling a story no one would believe. What Bowditch knows and has kept secret all his long life is that inside the shed is a portal to another world. King's storytelling and fairy tale soars. This is a magnificent and terrifying tale in which good is pitted against overwhelming evil, and a heroic boy and his dog must lead the battle. Again, really excited to read this one. I'm not gonna lie, I got suckered in because of the dog, and I really hope the dog comes out okay in this one. And then, not a book, but still book related, my boyfriend actually got me a Kindle for Christmas, which I was so thrilled about. I've wanted a Kindle for the longest time, so I was so excited when I unwrapped this. I've already treated myself to a couple of books. I got The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley because it was on a really good deal. The other book that was on a really good deal, which is actually in my January TBR, is The Priory of the Orange Tree, which you'll probably know that I've talked about quite a lot on this channel already, and the fact that I really desperately want to read it. Lastly, my boyfriend also got me something bookish related that wasn't a book, and that's a Gimli Funko for my Tolkien shelf, which I absolutely love. He's just so cute. I love his axe and his little plaits and the detail on his helmet. He's just so adorable. And so there we have it, my December haul. Did you get any books during December? Let me know what those are in the comments. Please remember to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.